Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, Illinois, has become one of the most polarizing figures in local politics. Some hail her as a bold disruptor, a so-called super mayor shaking up the status quo. Others see her as a chaotic force, dragging the town into legal turmoil and bitter public divisions. Her time in office has been anything but quiet. Controversy has followed her every move, and now the debate is louder than ever. Is she leading or just lighting fires? The trouble began with what seemed like a routine decision, appointing Ronald Burge as Dalton's new police chief. But that one move cracked open a political storm. Burge's police certification was inactive, which meant he couldn't legally carry a gun, make arrests, or perform basic police duties. And yet, Henyard pushed forward. Despite the glaring legal issues, she chose Burge to lead the entire department. What made this appointment even more alarming wasn't just Burge's status, it was how Henyard did it. She skipped over necessary board approvals, bypassed village ordinances, and ignored warnings from town trustees. They pushed back hard, arguing that her actions were not only reckless but illegal. Henyard, however, stayed her course. Her bold, some say authoritarian leadership style only made the conflict worse. But the problems didn't start with Burge. Since taking office in 2021, Henyard has been entangled in controversy after controversy. One of the first red flags was her lavish spending. Critics accused her of using public funds for personal luxuries, high-end trips, extravagant dinners, and even a Valentine's Day party with her own DJ. For many residents struggling to make ends meet, it was a slap in the face. Henyard's inner circle has also raised eyebrows. Instead of surrounding herself with experienced professionals, she's often leaned on questionable allies, people more loyal than qualified. Before Burge, she appointed L. Lacey, another police chief with certification issues. The pattern was becoming clear. Henyard appeared to value control over competency, loyalty over legality. The Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board didn't mince words. Burge was unqualified. He failed to meet the necessary requalification standards, making him ineligible to serve in any policing role. Still, Henyard pressed on. She disregarded official warnings, only deepening suspicions that this wasn't about public safety, it was about power. As outrage over Burge's appointment spread, the town trustees took action. They filed for a restraining order to block him from acting as interim chief. At first, the judge sided with them. Burge was legally barred from serving. But then came a chaotic board meeting, loud, tense, and politically charged. Afterward, the judge reversed course, giving Burge 30 days to serve in the role. That decision ignited even more backlash. Trustees, armed with a formal letter from the state board, insisted Burge still had no legal authority. In their view, his inactive status meant one thing: he couldn't serve, not even temporarily. The legal fight only sharpened the questions. Hanging over Dalton, who's truly in charge, and at what cost? How can someone who can't legally carry a gun or perform basic police duties be trusted to lead an entire police department? This question goes beyond politics. It strikes at the heart of public safety and trust. Mayor Henyard's defiant stance has split Dalton in two. Her supporters admire her for challenging old power structures, but her critics warn that ignoring rules and accountability puts the whole town at risk. Despite scandal after scandal shaking, her administration, Henyard, shows no signs of backing down. Instead, she's doubling down. Recently, she boldly announced on social media that she plans to run for a second term. That announcement sparked outrage, especially among those who feel Dalton has already suffered enough turmoil. Her early 2021 victory, where she won with over 80% of the vote, now feels like a distant memory. Trust in Henyard's leadership seems to crumble with every headline, but she thrives in the spotlight of controversy. Whether it's courage or recklessness, one thing is clear: her story is far from over. The question now is whether her iron grip on power will win her a second term or finally lead to her downfall. Either way, Dalton's road ahead looks anything but smooth. Just when it seemed the controversies couldn't get worse, Henyard found herself tangled in personal legal drama. She and her partner, Kamal Woods, are reportedly facing eviction over unpaid rent dating back to August. The landlord, Janetta Ho, once a close friend, has taken legal action after repeated failed attempts to serve eviction papers. The situation grew more complicated when Ho claimed Henyard and Woods changed the locks to block her from entering the property for essential maintenance. For Dalton residents, this isn't just a private issue, it's another public blow to a mayor already criticized for mismanagement and secrecy. If Henyard can't handle her own legal troubles, how can she manage the town's? As Henyard's personal and professional lives collide, Dalton faces a critical turning point. The scandals, lawsuits, and ethical questions have created a storm of frustration and disillusionment. Many residents are left wondering, can Henyard still lead effectively? The political drama unfolding feels like a real-life thriller, a community in crisis and a mayor refusing to give up. With each new controversy, Henyard's hold on power seems to weaken. Yet her refusal to step aside means the drama will continue. Dalton citizens now face a tough choice: keep backing a scandal-plagued mayor or demand fresh leadership. As Henyard prepares to run for re-election, the key question remains: will the public forgive, or has her political luck finally run out? The scandals keep piling up, the lawsuits keep coming, and Henyard's controversial decisions dominate headlines. Her political future hangs in the balance, watched closely by the town and the state alike. Just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, a new bombshell dropped. Henyard is now reportedly under federal investigation by the FBI for potential financial misconduct tied to both Dalton and Thornton Township, where she also serves as township supervisor. Earlier this year, subpoenas were issued targeting both government offices, signaling a deepening investigation into Mayor Henyard's handling of public funds. Authorities are focusing on suspicious government contracts, extravagant personal expenses, and lavish events that seem more fitting for a celebrity than a public servant. These allegations have shaken the community, suggesting not just poor management but a profound betrayal of public trust. Residents are outraged, convinced their hard-earned tax dollars are being wasted to support Henyard's luxurious lifestyle, rather than to improve Dalton. But the controversy isn't only about what's been spent, it's also about what's been neglected. Dalton is now facing a serious budget crisis, with vendors complaining about unpaid bills stretching back months and community services under severe strain. People are asking hard questions. Where is the money going? How did the town's finances get so out of control? The growing frustration is fueled by a sense that Henyard prioritizes image and political influence over real service. While essential services falter and bills pile up, Henyard continues spending on personal luxuries and political theater. Landlord Janetta Ho's accusations cut to the core of the public's anger. She claims Henyard and her partner act above the law, doing as they please without consequences. This feeling of entitlement seems to echo throughout Dalton, where many believe Henyard's leadership has drifted far from the everyday needs of its people. The eviction case is just the latest chapter in a saga filled with power struggles, legal battles, and growing resentment. Now, with a federal investigation underway, the stakes couldn't be higher. Dalton's residents face a difficult choice: keep supporting a mayor mired in scandal or demand a new path towards stability, transparency, and trust. One thing is certain: the storm around Tiffany Henyard is far from over, and the eyes of the state, maybe even the nation, are on this small Illinois town. Disillusionment is spreading fast. More and more residents are fed up with a mayor who seems to put her own interests ahead of the community's welfare. Despite increasing calls for her resignation, Henyard remains defiant, doubling down on her authority instead of addressing the growing uproar. Her refusal to acknowledge public frustration only deepens the divide. Rather than calming tensions, Henyard continues to portray herself as a political target, ignoring the concerns of those who elected her. To many, this only confirms the image of a leader whose time in office has been marked by disorganization, incompetence, and a disconnect from the needs of ordinary citizens. Any positive achievements are overshadowed by scandal, lavish spending, and a flood of legal and financial troubles. The community's anger has reached a boiling point. Residents feel betrayed. They trusted Henyard to lead their town forward, but instead, they watched Dalton slip further into chaos. The situation worsens daily, highlighted by a shocking revelation. Henyard allegedly spent a staggering $443,000 in a single day on Amazon. This reckless spending has left many in disbelief, especially as the town faces a looming budget crisis, but that staggering Amazon bill was just the beginning. Reports have since revealed that public funds were also spent at Target, Walgreens, Wayfair, and other retailers, all while Dalton wrestles with a financial shortfall nearing $5 million. Residents are outraged, convinced their tax dollars are being burned on personal luxuries, while vital community services remain underfunded. This alleged financial mismanagement, coupled with Henyard's ongoing personal legal troubles, has shattered public confidence in her leadership. As she clings to power, her support is quickly eroding, and Dalton's residents are demanding answers. The town now teeters on the brink, and Henyard's refusal to address these mounting issues only deepens the crisis. From a high-profile eviction case involving her partner Kamal Woods to a federal investigation into her handling of public funds, the pressure on Henyard keeps mounting. Each new headline chips away at her position, yet she remains defiant. In a fiery 90-minute Facebook Live broadcast, she dismissed the accusations as politically motivated attacks, accused her critics of a coordinated takedown, and threatened legal action against those speaking out. Instead of calming the storm, Henyard's combative approach has only intensified public anger. Increasingly, residents are tired of excuses, finger-pointing, and deflections. Many no longer see her as a victim, but as a leader who has failed to rise to the moment. Her claims of political targeting fall flat, especially in light of ongoing FBI investigations into alleged financial misconduct. The allegations are serious, from suspicious government contracts to excessive personal spending and lavish event costs that many consider outrageous. Yet Henyard sidesteps the facts, offering no concrete evidence to prove her innocence. Adding to the confusion, she recently teased plans to start a podcast to spill the tea and tell her side. But that podcast has yet to appear. Instead, the public is left with vague statements and growing mistrust. Despite the backlash, a small group of loyal supporters continues to defend her, claiming she's a misunderstood leader fighting a corrupt system. But with each new scandal, it becomes harder to see Henyard as anything but a self-serving official whose leadership is rapidly unraveling. The ongoing legal probes, especially those involving taxpayer money, only escalate the stakes. Dalton's finances are spiraling out of control. The village's general fund plummeted from over $5 million in 2022 to a negative $3.65 million by May 2024, a catastrophic financial freefall. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, brought in to investigate, confirmed what many feared. The town is on the brink of collapse. Meanwhile, vendors remain unpaid, community programs are underfunded, and residents grow increasingly frustrated. Yet Henyard continues to deny wrongdoing, dismissing the reports, shifting blame, and refusing responsibility. Add to this the eviction, lawsuit, the federal probe, and growing public outrage, and her position has never been more precarious. Critics argue she hasn't just failed to manage Dalton's finances, she may have actively contributed to its downfall. Her defenders cry, political conspiracy, but most Dalton residents see the facts clearly. The town's patience is running out. As the scandal-ridden administration unravels, Dalton faces a defining choice. Is Tiffany Henyard truly a victim of political sabotage or the architect of the crisis engulfing their community? Her refusal to accept accountability, the ongoing investigations, and the reckless spending have left Dalton in turmoil, with more questions than answers. As the pressure mounts, one thing is clear. Mayor Tiffany Henyard's time in office may be nearing a dramatic and turbulent end.